this task, organization, efforts must be kept secret. You don't know who is working for them.
You don't want more cultists like what attacked you.
Exactly.
For us.
Or worse.
I don't need any more knives.
I'll keep the dagger.
Oh.
Just in case.
Okay.
Unless, do you want it?
No, I have two. And I'm more of a magic person.
I'll keep... Actually, he turns to you, Ennui. Would you like it?
Sure.
That's cold.
You should probably take the cultists' clothes outside as well. Use them as disguise. Granted, you'll only be able to use one of them, being that I see you managed to burn one alive.
I can just turn invisible if necessary.
That's
a very useful skill to have.
Well, it's a magic user. Magic user.
Yes, very well. All right. However, I do have some gifts that I'd like to give you for...
Are you Santa?
Saving me. No.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
Don't lie, me, old man.
My gifts are not only for saving me, but because you've taken up the task. He goes to the back and opens up this chest. The chest pertains inside of it a large, wrapped up... it looks like a tent that's been deconstructed. He's like, so, this is the tent anyone who's going to be camping should have. Special little thing. Now, I call it the adventurer's tent, but when you set it up, it will be bigger on the inside than it appears on the outside. On the outside, it will appear like a one-person tent, but on the inside, it will be a nice, comfortable abode. On the inside, it has a living quarter, like a small main room and two offshoot rooms that you could use for sleeping. There's a small little kitchenette built into it, and a stove to keep yourselves warm. Also, on the inside, it is temperature controlled. So if you're in the frigid cold or the dry, hot desert, it will be nice and comfortable on the inside.
Magic is always so fascinating to me.
Isn't it? Isn't it? It's always so, convenient. Yes. So, what else? Hold on. I have one more thing to give you. Yes. So, Kine,
Yes.
can you use a weapon?
Basic weapons.
You really miss that mug, don't you?
That's not important. I'll buy a new one.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because I have this mug, if you'd like. It's a tankard of soberty. A tankard has a stern face sculpted onto the side. You can drink ale, wine, or any other non-magical alcoholic beverage poured into it without becoming inebriated. The tankard has no effect on magical liquids or harmful substances such as poison.
I mean, I drink to get drunk.
Oh, true.
That kind of defeats the purpose. But I guess I'll take it. Maybe I do need to tone it down a little with the drinking.
I do have this pipe. Well, it's like a long pipe, for smoking. So while smoking this pipe, you can use an action to exhale a puff of smoke that takes the form of a single creature, such as a dragon, a plume, or a frog moth. The form must be small enough to fit in a 1-foot cube and lose its shape. It loses its shape after a few seconds, becoming an ordinary puff of smoke.
Sure, I'll take it.
It's my personal pipe.
I'll make sure to
The
clean
noise
it.
usually makes the things that I'm smoking taste quite nice.
I'll take it.
So put a pipe of smoke monster on your in your inventory.
Pipe of smoke monster?
Mm-hmm. And one more thing. Here's one health potion. As he, out of the chest, pulls out one health potion.
Go ahead and give that to Ennui. I go down a little too often.
Yes.
Best if I don't have the thing we need to keep me alive.
Good point.
I'll keep it handy.
So,
Hey, the
I
festival's
guess-
still going on. We should enjoy it
yes,
while it
the
lasts.
festival is going on. I say, for the last night, you do have, before you venture on this journey, enjoy yourselves.
I may take a look in the alley before returning to the festivities, but I agree. We definitely need to have a fun night before heading
Yes.
into the mountains.
Indeed. Well, he opens the door. Have a nice... Be safe. I hope we can figure out what's going on.
How are we going to contact you if we're collaborating on this investigation?
Good point. He walks over to the chest again. Have this. He pulls out this little necklace with a small singular crystal on it. This is a one-way crystal. Sorry, my mistake. Two-way crystal. He pulls out his necklace out of his shirt. You see a similar crystal. I can contact you from this one, and you can contact me from that one.
Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
You wouldn't happen to have more of those, would you?
No, I only have one.
That would be super useful.
Yes. Well, I should get going. And so should you. One more night in the lovely festival. I suggested churros. You should really try one of those. Absolutely delicious.
I'll definitely try
Things
it.
to die for.
Quick question, though, before you
Yes.
leave.
Yes.
You said that you located this knife from the mountains. Do you know
Yes.
exactly where in the mountains? Like, could you point on the map?
He walks outside, and you see the mountain range over the city.
Mm-hmm.
He says, so when you cusp over the peak, you'll find somewhat of like a... It's not so much a valley so much. It's more like a bowl that has naturally formed in between two mountain peaks. Somewhere in there. Look for the bowl in the mountains. Up in the mountains.
Okay. I'm going to take a note of that.
All right. So,
Perfect.
yes. So as you leave the carriage, the door, he says goodbye, the door closes, and the wheels of the carriage just begin to move on their own as the carriage goes down the alleyway.
I shake my head, just magic.
Magic. Yes, indeed. So yeah, what do you guys wish to do for the rest of the festival?
I was going to go investigate the alleyway to see if there's any more clues. Pick up another another knife.
I'll follow, but once we're done investigating, I'm going to retire for the night because I'm still pretty beat up.
Yes.
So, would we just be doing investigation checks?
Yes. What are you looking for exactly?
Well, I want to search their bodies for any clues of like where they're from, what they're looking for, who sent them, and all that. And maybe there's any sign of where they came from within the city. Like, I don't know. There's enough people moving around that the tracks may go cold really fast, but
Yeah.
maybe any indication of which direction they came from.
So the charred body that's kind of plastered to the ground that you saw too, there's not much you can glean from it. You managed to get like 2 gold pieces off of it, and their knife, but nothing else is. You can't really get anything else off of the body. It's just too fucked up.
I passed I pulled out the knife to Kine if he wants it.
I'll take it.
The other body, however, the clothes are intact because no actual physical damage was done to him besides electrocution and the magic, and he was shot in the head. So, put in your inventory cultist clothes.
Got it.
All right, and you also managed to find another 2 pieces of gold. And do a medicine or do a medicine check or an investigation check, either or.
I'm also gonna pass those 2 gold off to Kine since I took the other 2 gold.
Okay. 2 gold doubloons.
I got.
This is the investigation check.
Yeah, so
Okay.
18 or not 18.
18.
Sorry, 14.
There's something up with his ear. Well, you shot him in the back of the head.
Uh-huh.
So, some blood came out of his ears. However, you also notice that besides the blood, with your keen deductive skills, you've managed to find out something's up with his ears besides with the blood. It's almost like something was put in his ears. Or at least one ear. Do a medicine check.
That's a 17.
Whatever it was, it did a lot of damage to the inner ear. You can't tell what it was per se, but you know that when going in, it really scraped it up in there. You know.
So I can't see anything in there. It just.
Yeah,
like
you don't
something
see anything inside his ear, but you know that something was stuck in his ear, and it left a lot of damage.
So if, like, my thieves' tools are a bunch of, like, picks and stuff. If I stuck one in, could I maybe, like, pry something out if it were deep in the ear?
With, like, a knife?
With, like, the picks for my thieves' tools.
You can try.
I'm just gonna watch her mutilate the corpse.
So would that be a dexterity check, or because I don't think thieves' tool proficiencies technically work here, since I'm not using them for their design purpose.
Yeah, so you wouldn't get advantage on using your thieves' tools. You're pretty much just using them for the sole fact that they're tiny.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not actually using them for their purpose, so it would be just a pure sleight of hands check.
Sleight of hand. Okay, so that's an 11.
There's not really much you can, besides some earwax and, what remains of the eardrum, there's not much that you managed to pull out.
Try to shake that off my picks. Wipe it off on what remains of the guy's clothes, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Well, I guess that's something to research later.